On a distant planet, far from Earth, a team of alien mercenaries prepared for their most dangerous mission yet. The air buzzed with excitement and tension as they gathered around their leader, Zarek, a tall alien with sharp features and glowing green eyes. Zarek had led many successful missions before, but this one felt different. They had been hired by a powerful corporation to eliminate a group of humans who had set up a settlement in an area that was declared off-limits by the Galactic Council. "Listen up, everyone!" Zarek called out, his voice firm and commanding. "Our target is a human settlement, and we have one goal: destroy it. We are the best mercenaries in the galaxy, and these humans will not stand a chance against us." The team of mercenaries consisted of 5 members, each with unique skills. Vera, the sharpshooter, was known for her incredible aim. Core, the brute strength of the group, could lift and throw enemies like they were nothing. Rin, the tech expert, could hack into any system and disable enemy defenses. Tash, the agile scout, was quick and stealthy, making her perfect for reconnaissance. Finally, there was Glax, the strategist, who always had a plan. As they reviewed their mission briefing, the team learned that the humans had been living peacefully, building their homes and creating a community. The corporation saw this as a threat, believing that humans might disrupt their plans for mining the planet's resources. To Zarek and his team, this was just another job, but they were unaware of the challenges that awaited them. After a quick meal and final preparations, the mercenaries boarded their sleek, powerful ship, the Shadow Hunter. The ship's engines roared to life, and soon they were soaring through the stars, heading toward their target planet. The crew exchanged nervous glances, each lost in their own thoughts about the upcoming battle. They had heard stories about humans, but none of them had ever encountered one. As they entered the planet's atmosphere, Vera studied the landscape below through the ship's large windows. "Look at that place," she said, pointing to a small settlement nestled between towering mountains. "It looks so peaceful." "Peaceful doesn't mean weak," Zarek replied, his eyes narrowed. "Don't let your guard down. We need to remain focused." The ship landed just outside the settlement, hidden behind a thick line of trees. The mercenaries disembarked, adjusting their weapons and checking their gear. The air was thick with the scent of exotic flowers and the sounds of distant wildlife. The vibrant colors of the planet's vegetation were breathtaking, but the team had no time to admire the beauty around them. "Rin, can you scan the area?" Zarek ordered. "We need to know what we're up against." Rin quickly pulled out her handheld device, tapping the screen as she gathered data. "There are several humans moving around the settlement," she reported. "They seem unaware of our presence." "Let's split up," Tash suggested, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "I'll go ahead and gather more intel." "Be careful, Tash," Zarek warned. "We don't know what kind of defenses they have." As Tash moved forward, the other mercenaries positioned themselves, ready for action. The atmosphere was tense, and anticipation filled the air. They could hear laughter and voices coming from the settlement, but they had a job to do. Suddenly, Tash returned, her expression a mix of shock and confusion. "You guys won't believe this," she said, breathless. "The humans, they're not what we expected." "What do you mean?" Zarek asked, intrigued. "They're organized and working together. They even have weapons. They might be more prepared than we thought," Tash replied. Zarek frowned, realizing that underestimating the humans could cost them dearly. He turned to his team, determination in his eyes. "We need to adjust our approach. This mission will not be easy, but we cannot turn back now. We'll show these humans that they've made a mistake by standing in our way." With their mission underway, the mercenaries were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Little did they know that this encounter would change everything, leading them into a battle unlike any they had faced before. The humans were not just a target. They were about to discover that the humans were far from defenseless. The thrill of the unknown filled the air, and the stage was set for an unforgettable clash between two very different worlds. The Shadow Hunter sat silently behind a wall of thick trees, its dark hull blending into the shadows of the jungle. The mercenaries had landed with a plan, but now they could feel the weight of uncertainty pressing down on them. Zarek gathered his team once more. "All right, everyone, let's move," he said, a hint of excitement in his voice. "We need to get a better look at the human settlement." As they stepped out of the ship, the sounds of the jungle surrounded them. Birds chirped, and unseen creatures rustled in the underbrush. The vibrant greenery was alive with color, but the beauty of the planet did little to calm their nerves. Each step felt heavy as they ventured deeper into the unknown. Tash led the way, using her stealth skills to navigate through the dense foliage. She moved like a shadow, her eyes scanning every corner for potential dangers. Vera followed closely behind, her rifle ready, while Kor and Rin kept watch on their surroundings. "Do you smell that?" Vera asked suddenly, her nose wrinkling. "It smells different." "It's just the local flora," Rin replied, looking at her with curiosity. "We're not on our home planet anymore. Everything here is foreign." As they approached the edge of the jungle, Tash signaled for them to stop. They crouched behind a large rock, peering through the trees. The settlement came into view, and the mercenaries watched in silence. The humans were busy. They moved about their homes, built from wood and other natural materials. Children played while adults worked together, creating tools and preparing food. The scene was lively, filled with laughter and warmth. But what struck the mercenaries most was the sense of community among the humans. They weren't just living, they were thriving. "This isn't what I expected," Glax muttered, his eyes wide. "They seem happy." "Focus!" Zarek snapped, trying to pull them back to reality. "We're here to destroy, not to admire." Just then, a loud crash echoed through the settlement. All eyes turned toward the source of the noise. A group of humans had knocked over a stack of crates, and the commotion drew more people's attention. "They're not defenseless," Vera whispered. "Look at them. They're strong." As the humans began to clean up the mess, Zarek's mind raced. They had to gather more information. "Tash, go scout the perimeter. Find out how they defend themselves," he instructed. Tash nodded and slipped away, moving silently through the trees. The rest of the team remained on high alert, unsure of what to expect next. Minutes passed and tension hung in the air. Rin fiddled with her device, attempting to scan for any hidden technologies or defenses the humans might have. "I'm not picking up anything unusual," she said, frowning. "They don't seem to have advanced tech, but I can't shake the feeling that they're prepared for trouble." Suddenly, Tash returned, her eyes bright with excitement. "You won't believe what I found," she said breathlessly. "They have traps set around the perimeter. It looks like they know we might come." "Traps?" Zarek raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "What kind of traps?" "They're simple but effective," Tash explained. "I saw a few snares and even some pits covered with leaves. If we're not careful, we could easily fall into one of them." Kor chuckled, shaking his head. "Looks like they're not as helpless as we thought. Maybe we should reconsider our plan." Zarek nodded, his mind churning with new possibilities. "We need to rethink our approach. We can't just charge in and hope to win. They have teamwork and strategy on their side." As they continued to observe, the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the settlement. The humans gathered around a fire, sharing stories and food. The warmth of their laughter filled the air, creating an inviting atmosphere that made the mercenaries feel oddly out of place. "This feels wrong," Vera admitted softly. "They're just trying to live their lives. Why are we here to destroy that?" Zarek frowned, sensing a shift in his team's attitude. "We have a job to do, but we also need to stay smart. If we want to succeed, we must understand our enemy. These humans might be stronger than we think." As darkness enveloped the planet, the mercenaries prepared themselves for the next step in their mission. Little did they know that this mission was turning into a fight for respect, understanding, and perhaps something much greater than they had ever imagined. The night air was cool and still as the alien mercenaries crouched in the shadows, watching the humans around the flickering fire. Zarek, the leader, felt a mix of excitement and fear bubbling inside him. Tonight was the night they would finally confront the humans. But as he observed their laughter and camaraderie, a seed of doubt began to grow. "Let's move," Zarek said, breaking the silence. "We need to get closer. We can't wait any longer." Tash, who had been scouting, nodded eagerly. "I can sneak in and listen. I'll find out more about their defenses." "Good idea," Zarek replied. "Be careful and signal us if anything goes wrong." Tash crept forward, her movements swift and silent. She darted between the trees, her heart racing with the thrill of the moment. The sounds of the humans grew louder as she neared the camp. She could see them clearly now, gathered around the fire, sharing stories and food. As she got close, she overheard their conversation. "We have to keep our guard up," one human said, a serious look on his face. "The rumors about mercenaries have spread. We can't let our defenses down." Tash's heart skipped a beat. They were aware of the mercenaries. She quickly backed away, signaling to Zarek and the team that it was time to retreat and regroup. When she returned, Zarek and the others were waiting. "What did you find?" Zarek asked, his tone urgent. "They know we're here," Tash replied, panting slightly. "They're prepared for an attack. They have traps set up, and they're watching the perimeter." "Then we need to make our move before they get ready," Zarek said, a fire igniting in his eyes. "We'll attack now while they're still distracted." "Wait," Vera interjected. "We should think this through. They're not just sitting ducks, they're smart and ready. If we attack without a plan, we could walk right into their traps." Kor crossed his arms, looking conflicted. "But we can't let them think they can scare us off. We have a reputation to uphold." Zarek considered their words carefully. "All right, here's the plan. We'll create a diversion to draw them away from the main settlement. Tash, you can sneak in and take out their lookout. Rin, you'll help me disable any traps we encounter. Vera and Kor will cover us from the trees." With the plan set, the team moved into action. Tash slipped away again, her heart pounding with anticipation. She maneuvered through the underbrush, careful to stay hidden. As she approached the lookout post, she could see a lone human standing guard, scanning the area with a wary gaze. Tash took a deep breath, focusing on her training. With a swift motion, she pulled out a small dart from her belt and aimed carefully. The dart flew through the air and struck the human in the neck. He staggered for a moment before collapsing silently to the ground. "Got him," she whispered to herself, a rush of adrenaline coursing through her veins. She quickly returned to her team. "Lookout is down," Tash reported, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "Now's our chance." With the lookout taken care of, Zarek led the way, signaling to Rin and the others to follow. As they moved toward the settlement, the atmosphere felt charged. They could hear the humans laughing and talking, unaware of the danger approaching. Suddenly, a loud noise erupted from the settlement as Kor, eager to prove his strength, knocked over a pile of crates to create a distraction. The humans jumped to their feet, shouting in surprise and confusion. Zarek seized the moment. "Now! Move!" he commanded. They charged into the settlement, weapons raised and ready for action. But as they burst into the open, the humans quickly rallied together, forming a defensive line. The mercenaries were met with unexpected resistance. The humans were not just fighting back, they were fighting smart. Vera fired her weapon, but the humans dodged and returned fire with improvised weapons. Tash and Rin worked quickly to disable traps and clear paths, but the humans were fast and organized, using their knowledge of the land to their advantage. Zarek felt a wave of shock wash over him. These were not the weak beings he had expected. They were fierce, brave, and determined to protect their home. As the battle raged on, Zarek realized that he had underestimated them. "Fall back!" he shouted, sensing that this was not going according to plan. "We need to regroup!" With a swift motion, he led his team away from the chaos, retreating back into the safety of the jungle. As they caught their breath, Zarek's heart raced. This was only the beginning, and he could feel that everything was about to change. The mercenaries regrouped in the shadows of the jungle, their hearts pounding from the unexpected clash. Zarek leaned against a tree, breathing heavily. The night was thick with tension, and the sounds of the humans still echoed in the air. "That didn't go as planned," Vera said, her voice shaky. She was still gripping her weapon tightly, her eyes wide with disbelief. "They fought back harder than we thought." Zarek nodded, feeling the weight of uncertainty settle on his shoulders. "We need to rethink our approach. These humans are not just settlers, they're organized and strong." "Maybe we should just leave," Tash suggested, her voice barely above a whisper. "They clearly don't want us here." Kor shook his head. "We can't just run away. We've come too far. We need to show them we're not afraid." Zarek nodded, understanding the pain in Marcus's voice. "We too have faced threats and battles. We came here to eliminate what we thought was a danger. But now I see that you are just trying to survive like us." As the conversation flowed, Tash exchanged glances with the other mercenaries, sensing the shift in their perspective. She could see that they were beginning to view the humans not as enemies, but as allies. This was a new beginning, a chance to forge something meaningful. Vera spoke up, her voice steady. "Maybe we can help each other. You have skills we don't possess, and we have resources you could use. Together we could be stronger." Marcus looked thoughtful, rubbing his chin. "What do you have in mind? We may not have advanced technology, but we know how to survive in this environment." "Your knowledge of the land is invaluable," Zarek replied. And we can offer protection. If any threats come your way, we will stand with you. We know how to fight and defend." The humans murmured among themselves, considering Zarek's proposal. Slowly, one by one, they nodded in agreement. Marcus finally spoke again. "We could use the extra hands. There are predators in these woods, and we could use your skills to keep our families safe." "Then it's settled," Zarek said, a smile spreading across his face. "We will form an alliance. Together we can protect what we all hold dear." With the alliance established, the mercenaries began to integrate into the human community. They learned how to build shelters from the materials available, how to find food in the dense jungle, and how to set traps to catch game. In return, they shared their combat techniques and knowledge of defense strategies. The collaboration was fruitful, and the bond between the two groups grew stronger. Days turned into weeks, and Zarek watched as the once divided groups became a unified force. Together, they trained and prepared for any threats that might arise. The humans taught the mercenaries how to respect the land, while the mercenaries shared their strength and skills. It was a beautiful blend of cultures, each bringing something unique to the table. But as their bond strengthened, so did the rumors of danger. News reached them of rival factions that roamed the planet, looking to exploit the weak. Zarek felt a sense of urgency. "We need to fortify our defenses," he told Marcus during a meeting. "If we're going to protect our families, we need to be ready." Marcus agreed. "Let's organize patrols and build watchtowers. We can keep an eye out for any threats." Together, they mapped out the area, identifying key points for observation. The mercenaries and humans worked side by side, constructing makeshift towers and setting traps. The jungle became a safer place, and their confidence grew with each passing day. As they stood atop one of the newly built watchtowers, Zarek looked out over the landscape. He could see the humans working below, their faces filled with determination. "I never thought I would find allies in a place like this," he admitted to Marcus. "But now it feels like home." Marcus nodded, a smile breaking through his serious demeanor. "We have created something special here. We may have started as enemies, but we have become a family." The days continued to pass, and the alliance flourished. The mercenaries no longer felt like outsiders. They were part of the community. They celebrated their victories together, whether small or large, and mourned their losses as one. But the looming threat of the rival factions always hung over them. Zarek knew that their unity would be tested. "We have to stay vigilant," he warned during a gathering. "Together, we can face whatever comes our way." As they prepared for the challenges ahead, Zarek felt a sense of pride. They were no longer just mercenaries. They had become protectors, defenders of a shared home. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: they would face it together, united in purpose and spirit. The alliance was not just about survival, it was about creating a new story, one of hope, understanding, and resilience. Together, they would write the next chapter of their lives, side by side.